Welcome to another Fun Factory gaming video. This time I bring you my opinion about the game Call of Duty 3, noting that I didn't purchase the game. I must also emphasize that my opinion is based on the multiplayer mode, which I played for a few hours at a friend's house. Modern Warfare 3 was released in a controversial context, mainly due to initial speculation that it was merely an addition of content to Modern Warfare 2. However, reality proved otherwise, revealing it as a complete game that once again appeals to the nostalgia of other times. This chapter in the series captures elements from the past and recreates them to appeal to new audiences while also casting a nostalgic glance at longtime franchise veterans. This is how Modern Warfare 3 arrives unsurprisingly at the end of the year and just in time for the holiday season. But there's a feeling that something strange has happened. Even though novelties are already scarce due to so many annual releases, this one is even more concerning, as the first impression is that we're facing a version of last year's game with just a few cosmetic tweaks to the interface and little else. The inevitable comparison between Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer and its predecessor, MW2, reveals a degree of similarity that may surprise the less observant. At first glance, the difference between the two titles seems almost non-existent, distinguishable only by occasional changes in the interface. Menu alterations are almost like a game of appearances, a subtle attempt to present it as a new experience. Progression and unlocking upgrades now have a structure that directly affects everything you do and can be overly taxing for those seeking a more casual experience. It's normal for game mechanics to undergo changes every year, from alterations in kill streaks or score streaks to how weapon attachments are unlocked. However, Sledgehammer has decided to make things even more demanding this year. Previously, all you needed to do was play and level up, both overall and with weapons, to unlock content. Now they've added another obstacle for players. Most of the content must be unlocked through specific daily challenges. This adds an extra layer of difficulty, making obtaining content much more arduous and even painful. The only justification I can find for this time-consuming method of unlocking content is the strategy aimed at keeping players hooked on the game for as long as possible. Imagine you have a weapon you like or want to try out now. It's not enough to just level up to have it at your disposal. Some weapons are locked until you complete a specific number of challenges. But it doesn't stop there. Within these weapons, there are more challenges for many of your attachments. This complexity of extra tasks is daunting and demanding, and consumes a considerable amount of time. It's a substantial overhaul of how content is unlocked, something that may encourage those who play Call of Duty year-round and almost non-stop. However, for more casual players, it becomes an almost insurmountable obstacle. These gameplay changes are intentional, far from accidental. It's a strategy adopted by the studio to keep players engaged, albeit in a less playful manner. As someone who has been playing Call of Duty since the first title released in 2003, I've noticed these manipulations and strategies over time, aimed at keeping the player involved, leading them to make decisions that often aren't to their own benefit. It's a way of guiding and shaping the player's experience according to the creator's interests, sometimes robbing them of the genuine pleasure of the experience. But are there substantial changes? Not really. There are subtle alterations and some returns, especially in terms of gameplay and map movement. We're now more agile than in MW2, which gives us more dynamism and intensity. This adjustment to movement speed adds an exciting touch to the experience. Although MW2's pace was by no means problematic, the issue lay in the sound of our footsteps. Additionally, the reintroduction of red indicators on the map for those firing weapons without suppressors and of course the return of dead silence as a viable and always active option has long been awaited. Skill-based matchmaking is a controversial topic, and in Modern Warfare 3, it has been considerably intensified. This system is in practice the franchise's nightmare, as there's no more room for relaxed matches. It all resembles esports tournaments, where even casual players fight as if they're battling for their lives. SBMM dynamically controls the course of matches by favoring players who are performing poorly and penalizing those who are performing well. I conducted some tests on this system implemented by Activision in recent years, and after deliberately playing a few games carelessly, I was subsequently placed by matchmaking in much healthier lobbies. These lobbies provide real fun, even if victory isn't guaranteed. In my opinion, SBMM greatly compromises the Call of Duty multiplayer experience. The long-awaited return of zombies is done in a completely different way than many expected. Forget the previous format because now in Call of Duty 3, it's all about an open world, with a style resembling that of a battle royale. This change isn't necessarily a bad idea. We have a vast map full of activities divided into 3 zones, with the central zone being the most challenging of all. It's crucial to enter this zone very well equipped, using all available powers, as you'll face extreme challenges and push your abilities to the limit. The approach to zombies has captivated me because it incorporates many of the familiar zombie elements and mechanics from the Call of Duty series, but now within a giant map. Although playing alone is an option, it may not be the most effective strategy. Often we face challenges that can only be overcome through cooperation, and if we don't have friends available to play, we have to resort to matchmaking. However, the problem is that the gaming experience can vary considerably depending on the group we're in. Each player has their own objectives, and if there are differences between each player's objectives, the dynamic can be compromised. Persisting and trying to find useful allies is a strategy that often pays off. Sometimes, even random players we encounter on the map end up giving us valuable assistance. This team interaction is a refreshing element, as it reduces some of the intensity of direct confrontations between opponents, allowing for the formation of momentary alliances for a common goal. It's a pleasant feature that offers a more strategic and cooperative approach to facing the challenges presented on the map. The mysteries and challenges present in Modern Warfare 3's zombies are many, providing hours of entertainment that in a way have distracted me from the nightmare that multiplayer has become. There's a huge variety of activities available, which is contradictory considering the limited time allocated to each raid. The map is extensive, offering numerous activities, but only 45 minutes to explore and complete them. This time limit seems insufficient for the depth of the activities. It would be more appropriate to have unlimited time or at least a considerable extension of time for each raid, allowing players to fully explore and enjoy all aspects of the map. Modern Warfare 3 isn't a bad game on its own, but there's a very concrete idea that it's not a game built from scratch, but rather constructed on top of MW2 and shuffled again. They're mere visual notes and changes to some mechanics that give it a marginally different image. It's not a new and complete game for me. It's more of an extra component from last year's work. It would have sufficed to have been put out as additional content where the highlight would be the zombies mode and the tiny campaign of just over 3 hours. Those who already own MW2 don't have much appeal to acquire it, unless they're die-hard zombies fans. I seriously hope next Call of Duty game brings something fresh, while going back to its roots when it comes to being sober and serious. In Call of Duty we don't need hyper speed, hyper jumps or superpowers. We also don't need pink ultra-fast firing weapons or cartoonish glowing uniforms. This is Call of Duty, not Fortnite, and sometimes less is more. For the release price of this game we deserved a lot more. For this reason I give it a solid 5 out of 10 points. Hope you enjoyed my video. Please consider subscribing and stay tuned for many upcoming gaming videos. Thanks for your support and friendship.